guys, welcome to the second grade two-dimensional figures best practices video. In this video, we will share what one can expect to see and hear as they visit mathematics classrooms. Here's a little geometry humor for you. This unit of study will encompass the following key learning goals. I can identify two-dimensional figures based on their defining attributes. I can draw two-dimensional figures based on their defining attributes by using a ruler or a straight edge. I can categorize two-dimensional figures such as triangles, rectangles, squares, pentagons, hexagons, and octagons based on the number and length of sides, number of vertices, if they are closed or not, and if the edges are curved or straight. I can use formal and informal language to describe defining attributes when categorizing. I can identify lines of symmetry for a two-dimensional figure. These goals can also be found on the STEMscopes parent letter. What should we see happening in the classroom to help students achieve these goals? Here we see videos of students modeling, sorting, categorizing shapes, and explaining how to use defining attributes to achieve these tasks. Some strategies include sorting shapes, drawing shapes, categorizing attributes and shapes, and creating lines of symmetry. Students move through the CRA model as they utilize concrete or models, representational or pictures, and abstract depictions to be successful with these expectations. Teachers can facilitate a discussion to make connections between representations by asking students to share multiple strategies. Students have had prior experience identifying, comparing, sorting, and sketching two-dimensional figures. Students are expected to use academic vocabulary words such as vertex in place of corner. Students should explore figures in a variety of orientations and sizes. They should also have opportunities to explore regular and irregular figures. Since students have been introduced to trapezoids and hexagons prior to second grade, they should also be familiar with these figures. Students should use a ruler or a straight edge when drawing two-dimensional figures. When identifying lines of symmetry, students should make a connection between partitioning two-dimensional figures and symmetry. As you can see, there is an MTR poster on the slide. So which MTRs align with this scope? MTR 4, engage in discussion that reflects on mathematical thinking of self and others. MTR 5, use patterns and structure to help understand and connect mathematical concepts. Students will analyze, classify, and identify two-dimensional figures. Assess the reasonableness of solutions. Students reason about and justify whether various figures fit into categories. If a figure fits into a particular category, then it must have certain attributes and vice versa. This is MTR 6. Students should be invited to have math chats to discuss their learning. The types of questions teachers choose will help dictate the direction of the student conversations. These example questions can be found in the math chat section of STEMscopes, as well as the fundamental questions section. What are some attributes that can be used to sort two-dimensional figures? What is a shape with three sides called? 4, 5, 6, or 8? What attributes do figures A and B have in common? How are they different? What makes a figure a quadrilateral? Describe the different ways you sorted your figures. How can you identify a line of symmetry on a two-dimensional figure? These questions provide opportunities for students to explain their reasoning and connect with the MTRs. As students explore shapes, we should hear students and teachers utilizing correct mathematical vocabulary. Here's a list of some vocabulary we would expect to hear in this unit. These words can be found on the STEMscopes parent letter as well. For example, names of shapes, attributes of shapes such as vertex and side, two-dimensional figure, and line of symmetry. Throughout this unit of study, we should see multiple opportunities for students to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding. This could include student journals, exit tickets, standards-based assessment tasks, fluency builder games, and skills quiz. These tasks can involve sorting, classifying, naming shapes and attributes, and drawing them. As we visit classrooms, we can ask students questions to gauge their understanding of the current content. Here we see some questions we can ask students. What two-dimensional figures can I identify based on their attributes? What attributes do the two-dimensional figures have in this group? What two-dimensional figures can I draw using a ruler or a straight edge? How can I categorize these two-dimensional figures? How can I describe the attributes of these two-dimensional figures? How can I find a line or lines of symmetry in this two-dimensional figure? Additional questions can be found on mathsmarts.com, which can be found by clicking on the benchmark link on the YAG. We want students to continue learning at home. Here, students can play some games on the tic-tac-toe board. This board can be found on the parent letter. For example, creating a symmetry collage. This activity connects to MTR5. Students use pattern and structures to help understand and connect mathematical concepts. See you next time.